Hi everyone, it's Annie with Polar Explorers, and I wanted to go over some details about the South Pole Last Degree Ski Expedition in case you're considering joining us on a future expedition. This is one of my favorite expeditions. The South Pole is an incredibly beautiful place. It's remote, it's adventurous, it's exciting. And before we get started, we have loads of information we can share, lots of references who can tell you about their experience there. And I just wanted to let you know, if you ever want information, just give me a shout, Annie@polarexplorers.com. So this expedition begins in the southern town of Puntarenas, Chile, which is way down at the tip of South America. And in the close-up, you can see that it's right on the Straits of Magellan. And it's a really cool town where we'll spend a couple of days before we fly to Antarctica getting ready for our expedition. And one of the fun things about when we're there is that we kick off on the 31st of December, of course, New Year's Eve, and we like to bring in the new year by celebrating along with the entire town of Puntarenas down at the waterfront, overlooking the Straits of Magellan with a fireworks show. So that's pretty fun. Soon thereafter, we get ready to go to Antarctica. All of our kit is loaded on that awesome plane there. That's an Aleutian that lands on an ice runway in Antarctica. And what that looks like, the runway looks like this. And this is just a video clip from our YouTube site. I'm going to skip ahead, but you can see that it's a beautiful, beautiful area where we get to see our first glimpses of Antarctica. We're surrounded by mountains. We're on the Union Glacier base camp, and it's a really special spot. Again, you can see that on our YouTube channel. The Union Glacier base camp is our home away from home when we're not at the last degree, and it's a wonderful spot where we get some great service and meet some adventurers from around the world. But soon we're off on this other awesome plane, which is a Twin Otter. You can see it's ski equipped, so we can land in a lot of different places without runways in Antarctica. And we load up all of our kit and all the people on our team, and we head out to 89 degrees south. And it's a great flight. It's a little plane. We're not flying too high. You can watch the Antarctic continent pass below you. It's a really exciting journey. But one of the best parts about this expedition, in fact, one of my most favorite parts, is when that plane leaves. And you can see this is actually a footage from our Messner full South Pole expedition. But this is what it's like when that plane drops you off in the middle of nowhere, takes off into the air, and suddenly you feel the gravity of where you are and what you're about to embark on. And it's pretty exciting. So we get dropped off at 89 degrees, and we start the expedition nice and slow. We have been dropped off at around 9,000 feet of altitude, but it feels closer, at least to our bodies, like 12,000 feet of altitude. So we need some time to acclimatize to it. We may ski that first day, maybe 15 or 20 minutes, or we may just camp right where we got dropped off, but we're gonna take it nice and slow, give our bodies some time to acclimatize. And that means that we get a lot of tent time. In the first few days of the expedition, there's a lot of time to relax in the tents. So there's time to kind of ease into the skiing and ease into the idea that you're on the Antarctic plateau, way down at the bottom of the world. But as we get acclimatized, our days get longer and longer, and pretty soon we're skiing upwards of 6-7 hours a day, heading across the polar plateau to the South Pole. And what is it like? It's so amazing. Everywhere you look in every single direction is nothing but snow and ice and clouds and sky. And that's it. And varying shades of color, in varying shades of blue and white and gray. And it's really spectacular. So as you ski across the polar plateau, you're really using all of your expedition skills that you have either learned on previous expeditions or on our polar shakedown training. And on or around the 8th day of skiing, you see this blip on the horizon that just slowly gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And of course, that's the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station, home to the Geographic South Pole. And that's what it looks like as you approach. That's the ceremonial pole there, outlined by the flags of the countries who first signed the Antarctic Treaty. And it's so exciting to reach the station. It's the culmination of so much hard work, so much planning, so much effort, and enthusiasm to get there, and teamwork to get there as well, that it's just a really superb place to be and a really wonderful feeling to have reached that destination. One of the fun things about being in a place like the South Pole is getting on a satellite phone and giving your friends and family a call and telling them about your expedition, telling them where you are, and telling them what you're seeing. And it's a pretty cool description when you're at the South Pole. One of the things that might be included in that description is this pole here, which is actually the Geographic South Pole, the actual Geographic South Pole marker, which is placed precisely every year at 90 degrees south. It is a couple hundred meters away from the ceremonial South Pole, so we've got two different pole markers that we get to take pictures in front of. And that sign there commemorates the arrival of both Roald Amundsen and Robert Scott at the South Pole in 1911 and 1912, respectively. The station has put out a building as a welcome center where we can learn about the scientific projects that are going on at the South Pole, which are pretty interesting. And we can learn a little bit more about the South Pole Station. And most importantly and most fun is we get the chance to stamp our passports and or postcards or whatever with a really cool South Pole stamp. From the South Pole, we fly back to the Union Glacier Base Camp, and that is the official end of the South Pole Last Degree Ski Expedition. From there, you fly back to Puntarenas and get to enjoy all the creature comforts of civilization. For several people, it's not the end of the adventure. They continue on to Mount Vinson to join us as we climb Antarctica's highest mountain. And Mount Vinson is a spectacular mountain. It's beautiful and it is so much fun to climb. If you're planning to do the combo of expeditions, the best way to do them by far is starting with the South Pole. And the reason is that you will have a lot less of this, which is tent time, because you arrive at Vinson Base Camp having spent 8 days or more skiing to the South Pole, which is at 9,300 feet of elevation. So you arrive at Vinson Base Camp feeling good, you're acclimatized, and your cold weather systems are honed. Other teams that come to Mount Vinson to do the combo and who start with Mount Vinson will spend upwards of 2 weeks on the mountain as they acclimatize and as they move camps and whatnot. And we are able to climb the mountain in around 5 days typically, all things being equal with good weather. And that's not rushing it at all. This is far too beautiful of a mountain to rush. That is taking our time, having a layover day or two, and just really enjoying this beautiful place. So just to recap, the South Pole Last Degree Expedition starts off in Puntarenas on December 31st, and it runs through January 14th. This happens annually. The Vinson expedition continues on, starting January 14th, and if you're doing that, you'll come off the continent on or around January 23rd. We have loads of information on our YouTube channel, lots of great videos about skills, a lot of videos about the expedition, so make sure to subscribe to that channel. We also have information about dates, rates, and other details about the expedition on our website. Our website also has some great references where you can read about other people's experiences, and we'd be happy to put you in touch with any of our previous participants who have done the expedition to get their inside scoop. We can also send you itineraries and other details about the expedition. But the best way to get more information is to speak with us on the phone or set up a time for a video chat. We love getting to know people and telling them more about the expeditions and answering their questions, and a phone is a great way to do that. This is who we are. We're a group of adventurers and explorers who love the high latitudes, and the best part of our job is being able to meet people and share these wonderful expeditions with them. So thanks for watching this video. We hope that you will join us in the future. We look forward to seeing you soon on an expedition, and please subscribe by clicking the button in the bottom right-hand corner. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.